Interdependence. Interdependence is the highest form of functionality in this life. It's how God created us to live, and it's how I live now in my community because it's divinely orchestrated and we're all focused on God instead of ourselves. So when we focus on God, we can actually receive what He has for us. If we're just focused on our own will and what best serves us, then we're gonna be end up like it is in the old world, how we grew up, or how I grew up. So in that world, the highest form of operation is independence. And that was the lie sold to me at a very young age, is I was dependent. I was basically worthless as I was, and I was on my own, and I needed to strive to become independent. And that's gonna take many, many years of hard work and dedication and sacrifice to even make it to independence. And even then, chances are you won't even make it to independent. And the independent people who run the world that everybody is worshiping because they have a lot of money, they're the ones projecting the value on them, but in reality they have nothing. Because when the dollar falls, all that goes away, and they're going to be left with without the illusion of control and the illusion of status. So yeah, in my journey, I started off as dependent on my parents, just a little kid, can't survive on my own, I need to be independent. So the dependence to the independence in the old world attracts that codependence. And I eventually became codependent with my parents, and it turned into a very toxic and unhealthy relationship, which is how most of the world is living, either dependent or codependent. And even if you are independent, chances are you're going to attract that codependency from the dependence. And I like to view it as the relationship triad. So the independent people are the heroes, the dependents are the victims. So the dependents or the independents attract the dependents, and vice versa, where they meet at they eventually turn into a codependent relationship where they're both feeding off each other and they're incomplete on their own, or perceived incompleteness. So they're each feeding off each other and playing the hero victim triad, which eventually turns into the villain, where they're making each other villains. So I like to think of that operation system as the relationship triad, that dynamic. It's certainly how I grew up in my family. It was very present. But now I feel like I've transcended that, living in God's kingdom here on earth as it is in heaven, where we're all bringing our own gifts and we need each other because we can't all do it on our own. God didn't give everything to one of us. He gave something to each of us so that we would need each other. And we are now returning to right relationship with God, with ourselves and each other, living as an interdependent community.